to wake up, the show is about to start. With lots of stories about poo and a bit of heart. When it comes to Joanne, no, you won't find no faults. But if you mess with the bull, you might get the shows. It's time for Morning. It's Morning with Bill and Joe. It's time for Morning. It's gonna be a heck of a show. It's Bill and Joe.
Hello and welcome to Morning with Bill and Joe. I'm Joe.
I'm Richard Dreyfuss. You looking forward to the Nat Geo Jaws 50th documentary? Because I've never done a documentary on Jaws before, so this will be interesting.
Yeah, I could have sworn we just had an anniversary last year.
Well, I mean, technically every year is an anniversary.
Well, yes, but it's like they find something significant each year, whether it's a birthday of an actor,
Yes.
or, you know, a release date, or, you know, extra features added to this viewing.
I think it was Alex Kinter's 60th. He was the little boy that got eaten by the shark in the movie.
Oh,
so
wow.
Maybe that was it. Yeah, I don't know.
Dang, it is old.
Yeah. A lot of
hey,
people bored.
Speaking of losers, didn't you just, because the kid died.
Oh. No, but it was as if that had something to do with another loser, is what you're saying.
Yes. I understand there was a bit of Jaws trivia that happened recently, and you did in fact not win?
Tell you what, that was a very good lesson. And here's how I did win, Joe. See, I'm for once in my life be Professor Positive. I went to your neck of the woods for no other reason than I was like, I wonder, and just typed in Jaws trivia on Google in New York.
Wow. Okay. Great.
Seems like you have some thoughts. And there was one in Astoria, and I go in there, and it wasn't that many people playing, and it was like at 5. And I did think about especially after the first 2 rounds, I was perfect, right? And I was a team of one, or as I think everyone else thought, a team of fun. Like I think I did one other time with the bar trivia. And I started thinking, should I start acting like I got a little swagger here? Like I feel this, I got this is nailed. I got this nailed. Part of me started thinking, should I start saying like, farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. You know, something from the movie to just sort of show them that this shit's over, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry. I didn't do it. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll have that a little bit if and when I win. I didn't win. I actually ended up coming in 3rd. And here's why. They did other shark movies. I don't know anything about Sharknado.
Yeah.
I knew that there were Makos and Deep Blue. That was another shark movie. There's a couple great white facts that were just exclusively about great whites that I got wrong. I forgot that they were warm-blooded. So yeah, I ended up getting here. I'll show you my. Go ahead.
What was it? In fact, a Jaws trivia, or are you calling it Jaws trivia? Because
it was advertised as Jaws trivia,
not like Jaws and shark trivia. Because otherwise, I would say that I would want to get my money back because that was false advertising.
I did pay, actually. Yeah. If this was a bar trivia, then you would not necessarily pay, but I think it was like $5 or whatever. But this is more of a performance area. QED, have you ever been there? I don't know how close that is to you. It's the last stop on the end.
I don't think I've ever been there.
It's new. Like right afterwards, they were like, "Oh, we're going to be running Raiders of the Lost Ark." I guess they didn't get the rights to Jaws, and I was like, you know what? I was like, the only movie I've seen more than Jaws is Raiders.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Not to mention, I was in a bad mood because I lost.
What did the winners win?
I forget. Well, here's what I won.
The suspense is killing me. Okay, it looks like a tin box.
Sure is. Filled with tooth-like candy.
Oh, okay. On the front it says, "This shark swallow you whole."
This shark, bad fish. This shark will swallow you whole. And bad prize, let's face it.
Yeah. Have you tried the candy? Is it good?
Yeah, I thought they were like mints, but it's candy, so you might have a present coming your way.
I don't
I've got
want it.
too many things.
I don't want it. It's not a present if you foist it on someone. It's just a burden.
Foist. Somebody's been. Were those both your words of the day on separate calendars? Foist and burden.
It was my Wordle. No. So, well, I'm sorry. That's a
Me
real
too.
disappointment that you didn't win. I want to know, could you please describe what the first and second place winning teams looked like or what their vibe was? Because
They
I have
were-
an idea in mind, but
I think they've been around the block a bit.
okay.
Perhaps maybe didn't have personal trainers.
Okay.
And definitely locals. I'm sure you've bumped into them many times before. And the first place guys, this is the reason why I was really angry. The first place was another guy by himself.
Oh.
Shaved head. He's real nice. And I think I could now in hindsight, I detected he was a little worried when I aced the first 2 rounds. And the guys that were running the thing that were doing the questions, he kept saying, I was like, ooh, this is actually probably going to hurt me. He kept saying, hey, man, I'm pulling for you. I don't know if it's because he felt sorry for me because I was by myself, but I don't know. So, yeah, it's bad fish, bad summer. How are you doing? What have you been up to?
I'm doing okay. I've had 2 migraines this week, so that's not fun.
Is that a heat thing?
I think so. They keep happening right before it rains. So I think that's just my body reacting to the humidity. It starts with auras, which is the little bright light in your eyeball that expands, and that's how I know it's coming. So it's sort of like a good indicator, because then if I take my Excedrin migraine early enough, it won't become like an awful head thing.
Right.
But man, it happened the other day when I was at the gym. I was just starting my workout, and then suddenly I have this bright light in my eye, and I'm like, well, fuck. I guess I should just go home.
It's a good excuse to go home.
Yeah. But for anyone who's never had an aura,
I was about to ask, what does it feel like?
Well, the way I describe it is sort of like, when back in the day when there were cameras that weren't your phone, the flash on a camera, and then you would have that bright light in your eye from looking at the flash. Kind of feels like that, and it starts small. At least for mine, it's almost like pixelated. Like it sort of looks like when they pixelate a nude figure on TV. It kind of starts like that, and it's very bright, and then it grows. It only lasts about 15 minutes, but you can't really see well. So when I was leaving the gym that one time, I'm trying to open up my locker, and I can barely see the numbers.
Oh, that's terrible.
Very, very strange. But
do you know why you get them? Is there a reason some people are more prone to? I mean, not good. I've never had a migraine. Is there some reason why some people are more prone to it than others?
I think it's hereditary. My mother has migraines. My sister has had the issues with aura. She's the one who told me to, once at the first moment it starts, take the meds, because that'll kick it. But what's so funny is, not funny, haha, but funny, interesting. Years ago, I was in I don't even want to call it a commercial. Maybe it was more of it was one of those testimonial commercials / PSAs about people who have migraine. And also I learned it's people who have migraine, not suffer from migraines. It's not the plural, and you don't suffer.
That sounds more normal.
I don't know. But anyways, I was a part of this PSA as the person who didn't have them. But I talked about my mother who did. And that was when I didn't. But now, I guess because I'm getting older, I'm starting to, but yeah, it's just annoying.
So this is your bunions, as far as being a genetic and getting older thing?
God, what would I rather? Bunions or auras that turn into migraine?
You don't strike me as much of a shoe girl, so you'd probably rather have the bunions.
Yeah, but I really enjoy walking.
Well, it doesn't really. It's more annoying than hurts.
Okay.
I mean, it does. It doesn't. It's not great, but you just gotta have. But
Although,
you have to wear like either, in my case, a lot of sandals, or perhaps comfortable but not necessarily attractive shoes for it to not be oppressive.
yeah, I'm really vain, and having a migraine doesn't affect how I look. So I think I'd rather that.
That tracks. Have you ever had a migraine while on stage?
No.
What would happen if you did? Would you be able to finish the play?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not like crippling. Thankfully, the extent of mine is really not. There's only once in my life that I remember being just like in bed, like my head
Oh,
hurt that bad. But no, it's manageable with just over the counter medication. So, but yeah, I think it has to be the heat and the humidity
yeah.
that affects it, because we've been having some really wild weather this
Yes.
summer. Thankfully, it was super nice on the 4th of July. Did you do anything fun?
Absolutely not. I guess I was going to go to New Jersey, and I didn't have the energy, and I didn't even see the fireworks. Not that I have ever really cared that much about fireworks, um, but yeah, the family does the annual 1776 musical
Oh, right.
viewing. But that's talk about a movie I have memorized. So I suppose I didn't miss much. How about yourself?
I went to a friend's rooftop,
Oh, that's
which
right.
was nice, and I made a key lime pie.
Patriotic, I guess. I'm assuming you dyed it red, white, and blue.
No,
Oh,
it was a yellowish green color.
so urine.
Uh, yeah. And no, it's honestly the reason why I made it is it's a very easy pie to make.
Why the fact that you would even ask me? Well, I guess you didn't ask me. It was more a statement. But yeah, that's
It's super easy and it's so delicious. Although it does kind of gross you out when you think about what the pie consists of. So the filling, which is, about 85% of the pie, is 2 cans of sweetened condensed milk, 2/3 of a cup of lime juice, and 6 egg yolks.
hmm.
So you're just ingesting egg yolk, sugar, with a hint of lime. It's really, I don't like to think about it.
I think we know where you get your migraines from. It's not mom. It's this key lime pie
That
monstrosity you
honestly,
put in your body.
that might be it. My body is like, oh, can we get some more substance? What is this?
Here's how your body will thank you.
No,
They're shaped
I do
like
not.
teeth. Did
I
I
do
mention
not
they're
want
shaped like teeth?
Jaws teeth candy. Also, something I did this past week, I saw Boop the musical.
Oh, it's about time.
Yes.
Is it about to close? Is that why you're
The
just
show is about to close. I think
knew
there's
it.
1 week left. So if you are heading to New York within the next week and you want to see a show, I really enjoyed it. It is definitely a song and dance sort of a spectacle of a musical. If you're into those, you'll enjoy it. But truly, the reason to go is to see the lead actress, I think her name is Jasmine. She is incredible as Betty Boop. I think she's only 26. She has the voice down perfectly. All the little mannerisms. She is like a cartoon, but so endearing. And the plot is really great. It starts with in Betty Boop's cartoon world, where she's this big star, but she doesn't really know who she is because as Betty Boop, she's been a pilot, she's been a hula dancer, she's been a scuba diver, like she's done all these things in all these cartoons.
So
And
this is a ripoff of Barbie, is what you're saying.
well, that's what a lot of people are saying. But
Yeah.
honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Boop was in production first. It takes so long to get a musical off the ground. So I'm not entirely sure, but I don't know. The musical theater nerd in me found this more enjoyable than Barbie. But
Of
basically,
course. And you love Betty Boop.
she finds herself in the year 2025 in this reality And she winds up at Comic-Con, which I thought was so smart. And so all the people around her are like, wow, you look so real. You look just like the real thing. And
That's
it's
funny.
just about her journey through real life. But
For kids, or is this is there adult humor in this?
there's adult humor.
I like
There's
that.
a lot of, she talks a lot about getting chased around tables by men and then hitting them on the head.
Now that's just violent. I don't know if that's adults or kids, but
Yeah. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. I won the lottery to see that. But that's the issue, right? Like, so many of these shows, I would not pay more than $50 to see them.
50.
Which is why there's a lot that's closing right now that I likely won't be seeing unless I win the lottery. But yeah. But anyways,
But
Boop
you
was
enjoyed
good.
it. Boop
Yeah.
was good. Yeah. Well, and speaking of shows, I saw the my benefactors, although I'd appreciate it if they benefact me with more tours. But I saw a Bowery Boys live performance at the winery on Pier
Oh,
57.
yes.
Yeah, that was very good. I'm not a huge Gilded Age fan, but one of our guys, Tom Myers, in the Bowery Boys, does the official Gilded Age HBO podcast after the show.
Oh, okay.
And so he's quite the expert. And then they do their own Gilded Age podcast. But so there's a lot of that, but they made it interesting. And yeah, it was really good. There's lots of good slides and things like that, and you can drink and all that. I've never been to City Winery. I thought I had the one on Pier 57. They've got a really great upstairs. I might have just said it, the Bowery Boys, but there's a giant roof garden. It's really cool. It's got great views. You can see the Statue of Liberty, Little Island, all that, and it's just a cool place to hang out. And I saw that you could. There were tickets still available for the 4th of July to watch the fireworks, and it was something like $40, which maybe, considering the venue, might almost be worth it. But again, I don't care about fireworks enough for any of that. But yeah, there's a bar up there. I mean, it's pretty cool. I recommend it. Checking it out.
Yeah, I mean, New York is really doing a lot. Oh, this is a good segue for me. I found a story I didn't send you.
Okay.
There is a lot of development happening around our rivers, around all of like can you call it the coastline of New York City?
I don't know, yeah.
But there is a new project that is happening. Construction begins on a floating river cleaning swimming pool for New York City. Have you heard about this, Bill?
No.
Okay. The attraction called Plus Pool, and plus is just the plus sign. It's not spelled as the word, and that's because the shape of the pool is going to be a plus sign. It will measure 9,000 square feet and be accessible from a walkway by Pier 35 on the East River.
Sure.
Now, I think that's off of the Brooklyn side,
well,
but I'm not positive.
Yeah, no, that makes sense because Pier 1 starts right. I love people, not that people care. Pier 1 is almost exactly as far downtown as you could go, and then it just goes. The numbers go up on both sides.
It says it will be just north of the Manhattan and Brooklyn bridges.
Okay.
Swimmers will immerse themselves in water taken directly from the East River and cleaned via a patented non-chemical filtration system. This water will then be pumped back into the surrounding river, thereby contributing to its health. It's claimed that the full-scale version of this pool will process around 1 million gallons of water a day. The pool will be accessible via a walkway connected to the shore, and I'll put a picture up. It looks wild. Operators will be able to reconfigure the plus sign, so it could either just be for lap swimming or for lounging or water sports or swim education classes, whatever.
Wow.
Okay, so the managing director of the pool, Kara Mayer, says the interagency and community collaboration to bring New York City's first water filtering floating swimming pool to life has been incredible. It demonstrates New York at its best, when the people are working together to advocate for change, evolve systems, design solutions, test concepts, and build innovations. It's what makes New York, New York. No, you know what makes New York, New York, Bill? Word salad. That was the biggest word salad, and I think the only way to justify something as unnecessary as this swimming pool by saying it's innovative. And I think they even said something about like, yes, it's a step toward environmental equity and
Yes.
public access to clean river water.
Does
How
it?
about public access to housing? How about access
You got to run from
to,
there.
I mean, it's just when you see a picture of this, you're like, we don't need this.
Speak for yourself.
But Bill, did you know, historically speaking, this pool is a throwback to the 19th and early 20th centuries? In the 1870s, after the Civil War, public health officials called for more public baths and created floating pools up and down the New York harbor. 40%
Wow.
of New Yorkers used the 15 floating bathhouses in and around New York in the 1900s. However, they were closed in the early 1900s due to environmental degradation. So, I mean, obviously, I know you're excited about this. You enjoy being outside. You enjoy splashing around in the water.
You saying I'm some sort of weird man baby after I told you this very adult Jaws story.
I just don't understand how it's going to work because so many people,
Splash.
all kinds of people in these pools, children,
Yeah.
and you're telling me it's a clean filtration? I'm sorry. I need so many chemicals to feel comfortable being in a public pool. And I don't know if they're going to be using them because if it's then going back into the river, I'm sure there are certain chemicals you're not supposed to use.
Well, you're not changing my mind on this. I'm still going in and splashing around. Is it opening this summer?
No, there is a test version, a smaller version that is coming to New York first. They got to test it out.
And that's this year?
I don't know.
You're the one that got it.
But here's the thing. Even if it says it's this year, you know it's 3 years from now. Because
like
that's also how New York works.
Yes.
But, you know, I recently took the ferry from Astoria, and I just don't know how this is going to work because, again, putting the picture up of the pool, it is like in the river. There is a walkway that is over the water and leads you to this pool. And I'm just thinking about the wakes of the boats and the things that also use this river. I'm thinking about inclement weather and levels rising and lowering. I'm sure they have scientists involved who have figured all of this out. But it makes me a little too nervous to use it. I don't know.
What are you using the ferry for?
To go down to the South Street Seaport.
Oh, yeah. I mean, actually, I know exactly the place that you would go to do that. It's a bit of a hike from your place, but I guess it is walkable. Yeah.
Yeah, but we did take a bike on the way back. There's bike paths.
Huh. What a nice day.
Yeah. You seem like mad about it.
No.
How nice. You ran
No,
back to the ferry.
I don't. Look at you using water public transportation.
It's also accessible to you, Bill, for a whopping $4.
I gotta use it more often. I think. Well, the Governor's Island one, I believe, is free. I gotta go down there, man. I might check. I haven't been there in years. So many things to do, so little time, so little money. And speaking of cartoons, even though we haven't been talking about Betty Boop in quite some time, God, I bet you're so excited. The review embargo for Superman lifts next week, so I guess today. I should have Googled and got updates. However, the Daily Beast inadvertently published its verdict last night. What happens if you do? Like, are they going to just slap you on the hand? And while the site took it down pretty fast, it was up long enough to cause quite a stir among fans and social media. This critic in question has positively reviewed the likes of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and Thunderbolts. The review begins by saying that the reboot resembles a Saturday morning cartoon that's overstuffed. I've been talking since blue in the face. Too many characters, too many bad guys. Stop it already. It promises plenty of action, but added that the film is so wash and over-the-top CGI insanity that its slam, bam, man loses its punch. The movie reportedly asked audiences to hold on for dear life as it whiplashes around from one out of this world locale and incident to another. There are also concerns that non-fans will find themselves adrift due to the movie's endless geekiness. Superman overpopulates itself with heroes and villains. It has neither the time nor the inclination to develop. Why? When are people going to learn from this mistake? Consequently, everyone and everything is two-dimensional, no matter how the director's imagery is sharp and vibrant. The headline was "Terrible New Superman is Final Nail in Superhero Cinema's Coffin."
Oh, God. That's a little wordy for a title.
Yeah, I know you don't like those word salads. So are you still going to see it?
So I just finished The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I finished all 4 seasons.
That's not a superhero, I told you.
No, but Rachel Brosnahan is in this new Superman. She, I think, is playing Lois Lane.
I did not know that.
Yes.
I've seen her in many a trailer.
I'm just curious for her performance.
Like a cat?
So, yeah. Hey, and we're about to have like 10 days of rain in New York, so I might just end up at the movies. So, yeah, we'll see.
10 days of rain. Oh.
Yeah, and you know how I like to movies. It's really more about my little popcorn and my little can of Prosecco.
I was going to say the champagne. Oh, boy. It's just all so you. Well, you know, I talk a good game, but 9 times out of 10, I will weirdly get obsessed. I'll weirdly obsessively watch each new trailer online and read things about them, and then never see them. And mostly because they all look so overstuffed and convoluted and just throwing anything up in the wall type bullshit. And I lose interest. So I don't even know. I don't know. I do like Superman, but very disappointing. Maybe this guy's the outlier. We'll see what the other reviews say.
Which actor is playing Superman?
Some unknown guy. He's been one or two other things. I miss poor Henry Cavill. He was a great Superman. I forget his name. Nick Holt, who has been with us since About a Boy with Hugh Grant. He was a child actor. He is playing Lex Luthor.
Okay.
And he was already in X-Men, and so he's done a lot of superhero stuff. But so yeah, we'll see.
Gosh, maybe I saw this on a TikTok, but there was a girl who decided to watch like all of the Marvel or DC movies just because she never had, and she was like, let me just go through everything. And there's a part of me that's wondering, like, should I do the same thing? Because I know so little about all of these films. And truthfully, we're just going to continue remaking them and rebooting them until the world ends. So maybe I should understand them if in the future I'm auditioning for them.
I'm surprised that you have it just by osmosis via Douglas. Doesn't he watch a lot of them?
He does, but for him, it's like background noise. He likes to just have. This is why we had a Disney Plus subscription. Is that what it's called?
Prescription.
Thank you. Yes,
for
prescription.
Migraines.
Yes, and then we lost it. Then my sister got one, so now we do a tradesies with my sister because now she has a kid. So we use her Disney. We gave her our HBO, so between we're helping each other out. But he likes to have the movies on in the background if he's writing or if he's working on something.
Yeah, me
Meanwhile,
too.
I hate having anything on in the background. If I'm trying to get something done, I need quiet.
Right.
So yeah, stuff will be on in the background, but I only notice it and I'm annoyed by it because get ready for Joanne.
Nice.
The volume discrepancies, the volume changes in these films are so frustrating because something will be at a manageable volume and then suddenly there's, pew, 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 pew. Like there's some sort of fight or war or flight happening and the decibels get so much louder. And I'm just like, but why? Because now I need to turn it down. And then I'm just there with my remote the whole movie, just trying to fix the volume so I don't have a conniption.
I just get pissed off about not having a free personal trainer for a role. That's what I
Yeah.
look at. I just like, I'm like, oh, man, you know what? If I were an A-list actor, I could be that jacked because I'd have to be. And I got my personal
Yeah.
trainer and my personal chef
Yeah.
and all of this stuff, and it's just that's frustrates me. But to going back to what you said earlier, you don't necessarily need to watch them if you don't want to. I've also said this a million times. From I would say, ooh, all right, maybe you do because if westerns are to any of the case, it lasted for a while. But basically, from like the 30s on into about the mid 60s, it was all westerns all the time. There was barely another movie, and it was very much exactly like what we're seeing with superhero movies right now, where they're just taking all the air out of the room, pop culture wise. But after a while, people got sick of them, and
Yeah.
then there was times where like there'd be like 3 or 4 westerns in all the 80s. Some of them pretty good, but and even now there are not that many westerns. You see a little more on TV and stuff, but that's absolutely, I guarantee you, is what's going to happen to the superhero movie genre. It's even now I'm sensing a fatigue by, first of all, every plot line has to be the end of the world. Like, there's the reason they call him the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. It's fun to watch Superman stop a bunch of bank robbers, or maybe a lower tier superhero, or just have some sort of like human, more type of human issues rather than the entire universe is going to implode. And then after a while, it gets very difficult for you to outdo yourself as far as,
Yeah.
and people start getting bored with the very idea of the world ending and all that bullshit. So I think that we're hovering over the precipice of all these superhero
Well,
movies
then,
going down.
Bill, the movie buff that you are, even though you can't win Jaws trivia, what do you think will be the next trend? We've seen the Westerns. We've seen, the John Hughes sort of rom-coms. That was huge in the 80s. Now it's all the superhero type stuff. What do you think might be the next trend?
Good question. I hope swashbuckling adventure type stuff. Lots of swords, lots of swinging on ropes. There is a
Huh.
difference between adventure and action, Joe. And believe it or not, there are very few movies like Indiana Jones out, and there's a lot of movies like Schwarzenegger stuff from the 80s and 90s that will continue
Hmm.
to be out. I was always a big fan of Zorro type stuff, things like that,
Yeah.
horses, and not necessarily West. Maybe westerns will make a comeback. Look how popular Yellowstone is, but it's not like they ever really fully went away. But I like that kind of stuff. I love adventure. Like the silent movies it was all Zorro and pirate stuff and the Three Musketeers, lots of stuff like that. Lots of rope swinging, If there was a way they could work in Douglas Fairbanks or the like swing on a rope, they would do it. Robin Hood type stuff. I like that, and there's not a lot of that.
Yeah, I think I read prescribe to an email newsletter called The Dailies, and it's sort of about the Hollywood business and what's going on. And a few weeks ago, I read, movie theaters, getting people to movies, it's not going well.
Right.
But they polled sort of, I think it was my generation or maybe even younger, as to like what they want to see in movie theaters. And I think the answer was comedies and horror.
Comedy,
So
I guess, because people want to laugh with other people.
I think comedy will always be something that people want just because it feels good to laugh.
Home, yeah.
But horror, I don't know, maybe that speaks to the true crime phenomena that so many women like me love. But, the thing about the superhero stuff and even some of the Westerns is like, what about family-friendly things? Like, if you really want to bring in a large audience, you need to consider all ages. Parents bringing kids, that's
them.
more tickets.
Oh.
So, horror, that you kind of have a harder time bringing them in. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, but horror, people like to laugh in a large group, and they like being scared in a large group.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Joe, what do you want? I guess, do you really want to go to a theater? See, I think for you, true crime is a totally solitary thing. What would you go to the theater for? Petty boob?
Yeah, right. Yeah, the silent films. before the talkies.
You really are Joanne by today.
Yeah, to go to the theater, I'm so annoyed by people that I wouldn't want it to be a film where there were children in the audience. Gosh, what type of movie brings about introverts who are quiet and don't bother you? Probably a foreign film. Maybe I should just really be into foreign films. No one speaks each other's language. We all just sit there in silence.
That is very you. Good. But subtitles.
I know, that is so hard.
I don't like them.
Really frustrating with subtitles. My Hulu account, I was watching a true crime documentary. It's a four-part series called At Wit's End about Amanda Witt's death. Melissa Witt. Her death in Arkansas in 1995. It turns into a whole serial killer thing. Anyways, if I am half paying attention and then I'm like, oh shit, I missed something. Because sometimes they put text on the screen where it's like 6 months later. And I'm like, where did we jump to?
Right.
I have to go back. And when I go back, it instantly pulls up the subtitles for you so you can see what you've missed. Because some people go back if they can't hear. They're like, oh, I missed that. But my subtitles automatically pop up in Spanish. It's just like, it pops up and it's in Spanish. And so I always have to click off. But why is that the go-to? Do they think I'm Spanish?
Yeah, your TV just finds you ethnically interesting, to quote yourself.
I guess so. And how flattering.
As long as your TV can flatter you.
Yeah.
Well, what else you got going on?
That's about it.
No real gigs? No gigs this week?
No, I think I have one catering thing. This is the slow month, which I'm trying to enjoy. You know, like going to the beach, although I can't if it's raining.
That's why it's raining, because you're not working.
I know, right? God damn.
Well, guys, Friday, another Bowery Boys walks. They're really getting good. I really know what I'm doing now, unlike when Joe saw it. So whatever bad thing she says about me, they're better now.
It's only taken you 8 months? Is that it? It's only...
I don't see numbers, all right? That's how woke I am. But other than that... Oh, you know what? It's very long, so I've been treating it like a mini-series. But I've been watching something I actually think you'll like. Have you ever heard of Babylon?
Yes, but remind me what this is?
Early days of Hollywood film, starring Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie.
Yes. Where she does the single tear.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, it's your eyes hurt watching her do that scene. But she also shows some boobs, so that's good too. But it's good. But it's very, very long. So you gotta.
Yeah. No, I've seen it.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
I saw it a few years ago. Yeah, because it was. I think that's when I was a part of the nominating committee for SAG, so I had to watch all this stuff.
Yeah.
But did you know that is Margot Robbie's party trick? She, in pretty much every movie she's in, does the single tear.
I thought it was special effects because she does it so much.
Nope, that's
crazy.
She's able to do it, which is kind of crazy.
That's insane. Oh, wow. Well, thank you for that fun fact.
And I will tell you my party trick in The More You Joe. I can make it seem like I care when I don't.
Am I doing a good job?
Is that also your party trick? We were talking about mine.
I can put my cigarette out on my tongue. I think I've done that for you before.
Oh, God. That can't be good.
Tune in next week. I'll do it for you guys.
I don't know. YouTube would probably take that down.
No, why?
I don't know. Mutilation? That doesn't seem right.
Well, you don't know that it is a trick, but I really do it. So you're just gonna. That is what I'll do that next week. How about that? There we got a tease.
Great, we got something to live for. Mm-hmm. All right, thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Bye.
I'm sure glad that's over.
That's all for this episode of Mornin with Bill and Joanne.
I wasn't even listening. I was listening to podcasts.
Shut up, Bill.
Subscribe to the show on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you get podcasts.
Yeah, I wasn't listening either.
Very nice, Joanne. Touché.
For videos of this and other episodes, go to @MorninBillAndJoe on YouTube.
Bill, put the sword down.
Run, Joanne, run!
like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We would do it for you. Okay, that's a lie.
I never liked your show.
Sorry, wasn't listening. See ya.